Welcome to the 6 hour show that's not really
The 7:30 hour show.
yeah, we started a bit late. You're joined by me, Ben, Matt, and Joel.
Yo.
And we had a few comments talking about how Matt needed to be more included.
Don't worry about that. I'm here today. Get my voice across.
So we were planning on having a special guest, weren't we, guys?
Yeah. Do we want to disclose who that was or leave it?
And well, it was originally going to be Els Marshall, a YouTuber with 107k subscribers, but under certain circumstances, it appears that he cannot join us today, which is kind of unfortunate.
Very.
But, you know,
hopefully at another time in the future, though, he'll come and join us, and we'll be able to get a few words out of him, see what he has to say when we ask him a whole range of questions. I hope so. All right.
So, what's the first topic you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think Matthews, you're up to that.
All right. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. First thing we'll start with is the Gatwick drone incident, if you like. It's been a lot in the news recently over the last couple of weeks on that. And it did cause a lot of chaos. It was shot for several hours on multiple occasions, and it's just causing chaos. I mean, I don't know if you know a lot about drones and airports and with planes.
It was a bit ridiculous, though, weren't it?
Well, yeah, it was a bit out there because now there's people saying it didn't actually happen and it was a government conspiracy, but at the end of the day, we don't really know what happened.
Could it have just like shot down a drone or something?
Well, there's a lot of new technology which allows the forces to do so, but it's very expensive, and obviously, being in the UK, we don't really have the budget for that sort of thing.
It's not really expensive shooting down a drone, though, is it?
What shooting it down with what? Oh, like a gun?
A gun, yeah.
Well, a rifle, yeah.
Yeah, if you were to hit a propeller on a drone, surely it would just completely.
Yeah, but
destroy
we are in the UK and they don't really like guns.
Yeah, we're a bit ridiculous, aren't we?
Yeah, but like in circumstances like that, like there's no excuse to say, "Oh, nah, let's not shoot it down," because
I agree.
You're holding up people's day and you're wasting people's time.
So, well, they are very dangerous to aircraft. If one does get ingested by an engine, a large enough one, which was reported cited, a very large one, like a TV size one, that could cause significant damage and potentially bring down an aircraft if it hits it in the wrong place.
The thing is as well is that having a drone, especially a larger drone, like these people who are controlling them aren't poor or stupid by any chance, because like drones are they were pretty expensive, and I assume they still are.
Well, yeah, they still are. Yeah, so, the big ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think to have that much money to be able to just go and buy a drone as like a product that isn't necessary in life, but you know, having that much money to spend, like to get that money, you can't be stupid.
Yeah, why would you want to, waste your good life to potentially get a criminal record if you're buying like a 10 grand drone, which is what...
It's just a bit chaotic, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, well, then people are saying now that it didn't actually happen. It was a government conspiracy for a potential terrorist threat, and they were saying, it was just... There was a specific information about a potential terrorist attack, so that's why they closed the airport.
I thought originally, wasn't it something to do with that there was a terrorist attack happening, and then to draw the attention, they started flying the drone so people would be oblivious to it.
The fact of the matter is there is so many news stories on it, and to be honest, we don't know what's actually true and what's just fake, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not even the first time it's happened, though, because it happened at Heathrow as well. So
yeah, it's happened in Europe.
Being the fifth largest economy, surely we have the financial backing to some extent to actually deal with circumstances like this, where we're able to just get rid of the
facility to do it. Because there are, in America, they use electromagnetic rifles to be able to shoot them down, and they just fire this electromagnetic field, and it just brings them down. They just crash.
So, what were these government conspiracy theories that people were coming up with about the incident?
Well, people were saying that there was a specific information from an unknown source that there was going to be like a terrorist attack or a potential hijacking even at Gatwick Airport.
It's getting a bit ridiculous now, isn't it, though?
So the terrorist attack wasn't elsewhere in the UK, it was at Gatwick?
Well, it didn't actually happen, but there was information saying that it was very likely Gatwick Airport.
Okay, so
Do you reckon that incident with the drone prevented it from happening if it was meant to be happening?
Yeah, well, the incident with the drone was just a smokescreen, so they had an excuse to close the airport to prevent a hijacking or something like that.
True.
yeah, it off puts. Like, I'm not a criminal or a terrorist by no means, so I don't really know, but I had assumed that to go and hijack a plane, the amount of planning that must go into
Oh
place.
yeah, it's virtually impossible to do nowadays.
Because you have to get past the security, you have to get your passport checked, everything, and then when you're on the flight, it's not just you trying to
Yeah,
take
well,
the plane.
you can't get in now. Modern flight deck doors are bulletproof and bomb-proof after 9/11, so it's virtually impossible to get into them.
9/11, as bad as it was, made such a positive impact on airports and the security there. Because without it, like, I remember my mom telling me that she would used to be able to just go and walk onto an aircraft, no metal detectors, nothing. So
Yeah.
It's Sam down the blues though as well. Like it's kind of out of context and everything. But I went down the blues yesterday, and one of the people in a high vis jacket came up to me. Well, they check everybody to see if they have any bombs or anything. And he came up to me and said, "How old are you?" And then I just froze and said 14, because I couldn't be bothered for him to check me down and everything. So then he just let me walk past. But
Yeah.
I had a coat on. I could have easily have had like a bomb inside it or something.
it,
God forbid somebody actually did and caused an incident.
the
Then
thing
it just
is, with you especially, like, because of your height, you can get away with claiming that you're
yeah,
older than you
exactly.
are. So let's be real. If your parents say we're like actual terrorists and they're like, you know what, Ben, we're gonna get you into Blue Stadium so you can go blow it up. You know,
Yeah, I
like,
know.
how difficult would it be for you to say, oh, I'm 14, 15 years old. You can't search me. I'm going into the stadium and
Yeah.
killing a few thousand people or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem
Yeah,
is it's
exactly.
just so easy to actually cause terrorist attacks nowadays. There's very little police intervention, and even if when there is, it's just impossible to predict and stop a lot of these incidents.
I think France has been hit quite hard by terrorist attacks.
Mm,
Uh,
definitely.
that's somewhere that you see terrorist attacks happening, not
Yeah.
on the regular, but it seems to be happening in France more than a lot of other places. So
But yeah. But I'm just trying to think as well how one phone call can affect so many businesses, because because of the airport closing and everything, that would have like harmed so many businesses,
yeah,
wouldn't it though?
it's
Yeah.
like was it a few years ago now? I think the NHS had all their systems hacked, and the guy who hacked it put like a message up to anyone accessing the systems. It was like, pay me X amount of money and I'll give you all your systems back. But there was like some 16-year-old internet whiz who found out that he was just using I can't think, he was just using like a website address that he hadn't actually bought. So this like 16-year-old just went and bought this website address and literally just stopped the whole hack because he never
God.
paid for his domain. So this kid literally stopped a massive, like, I wouldn't say it's a terrorist attack, but a cyber crime by
Yeah.
simply purchasing, I think it was like a £2 domain off the internet, because, you know, but there was like these government officials who were supposedly the best IT people that the government could get hold of, yet they couldn't figure out that all they had to do was buy a £2 domain. So
Wasn't it on Windows XP or something?
yeah,
So
it's
that's
on
why it
Windows
happened.
XP, I think.
Classic XP.
So that's always fun, isn't it? But I think since then they've upgraded their systems. I assume. I'd hope they have.
Well,
So, I mean, if they haven't, then it's quite poor, really. But
Now Joel, have you well, did you kiss any gingers yesterday?
I actually did not. I didn't come into contact with any gingers
Because
yesterday.
believe it or not, guys, it was actually National Kiss a Ginger Day. Yes.
It's
was it
true.
really?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a real thing, but if you do search for National Kiss a Ginger Day, it is the 12th of January. So
It is a bit ridiculous, though, isn't it?
I think
Like you have Father's Day and Mother's Day, which okay, that's a bit understandable, but National Kiss a Ginger Day, it's just a bit demoralising, isn't it?
Well, yeah, all these different days.
Imagine being ginger and just like I don't know, I would just hate it.
Well, everything just has to have a day now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's a day for
Yeah.
this, a
It's
day
like-
for like washing your car, and there's a day for pretty much anything.
I assume like if you went and searched like National Read a Book Day, there's probably something there for it. Any day
There
you
is, yeah.
want. Yeah, like
There is. There's a National Read a Book Day.
that genuinely doesn't surprise me though. Like it kind of takes the piss a bit that how people are like, you know what, I want this day to be this.
No, but do you think there's that concept as well of people only wanting those days so they can have the credit of naming those days?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, if you in the future, if it's like a big thing like St. Patrick's Day or whatever, like obviously say it's named after St. Patrick. St. Patrick is now known, I guess you could say. So if I say National Make Friends with Joel Day, I can be like, well, I made it, so I'm famous now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take the piss.
So at what point do you think it's acceptable for a day to be named after something?
I think it has to be something influential and something that would actually...
So like St. Patrick's Day, like
Yeah, like-
what
Yeah, it
we
has
just
to be
talked
widely
about.
recognised,
Yeah.
not like, you know,
Yeah.
a bit of an internet sensation.
Well,
for a couple
gingers
of
are
weeks.
widely recognised.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like all these things are just on YouTube or whatever, and they're just like some meme that's been around for a couple of weeks, and that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
it an international day. It's just no.
Yeah, I mean...
It's just... Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I find that the meme culture, I guess, more than anything, that really makes things almost influential and famous nowadays, as crazy as it sounds. Like memes
It's just
affect
ridiculous.
people. Memes actually affect people more than possibly motivational speakers nowadays, because like a lot of people get joy out of memes, and you know they are funny. They are funny. So
Some of them.
yeah,
Yeah, some.
some of them can
But-
be really offensive, but
But it's like my opinion on lifestyle news as well. Like I'm just reading this article, or came across this article, to be more specific, about Lindsay Lohan's white dress is a fashion fail. Like, who would want to listen or watch that sort of crap? Like,
Who cares, to be
I,
honest with you?
yeah,
on the line of like fashion, there was a thing. I think it was. I'm not sure when it was, but it was during a cold period over in America, I assume, because that's where the picture was taken. But it was Jennifer Lawrence, as in the one that done Hunger Games, and she was wearing a
Yeah.
dress, and like all these feminists were like complaining, like, oh. She was with like 3 blokes, and it was like all these men have all jackets on, but you're out here because you have to expose some skin because that's how the
You
dress
have
was.
to. Yeah, everyone thinks
And
you
then
have
all
to
these
do this
feminists are
just because
getting
you
all
want to.
offended. Yeah, and then Jennifer Lawrence put out a reply saying she's offended that they're offended, and all these feminists are like, oh no, what have we done, and shit like that. So, I mean, I've got nothing against feminism, but it's the people who take it to the point where like, fuck
Yeah.
men, they have to be locked in a cage. That's when it gets too far. You know what I mean?
yeah. When feminists talk about how countries like the UK, for instance, don't prioritise the gender equality and stuff like that, and the pay gap, then okay, you've sort of got to some extent a point. But when it's little stuff like that, and like for instance, if like a man just pushes a woman or something, or the woman hits the man and then the man pushes the woman, and the feminists would just go wild. It just gets ridiculous. I hate
Everything's just taken to the next level where it
Yeah.
just doesn't need to be.
I hate extreme
Yeah,
feminists.
there's a difference. There's feminists, and I think they're fine. I think what they stand for is correct. You know, equality. It makes sense. But then it's when you get to extreme feminism, which are the people who literally believe men are disgusting, and you know, it's
But
just...
I don't agree with all of it. I think as well, there's some physical attributes that men have that the majority of females don't have.
Oh yeah, like men, and I don't mean to be sexist here, but more often than not, men are a lot more physically strong than a woman is.
Mm.
That's like that's pretty much pure facts. I don't
Yeah,
care
well,
what people
that
say.
is the case. There are cases where it's the other way around,
Yeah,
but
but that's like
It's very rare.
it's like when you get your female bodybuilders. Obviously, they're gonna be built up. They're gonna be big. but it's
Yeah.
compared to say, so let's just take someone in our school compared to us, and they're a female. 9 times out of 10, the male will probably be stronger than the female will. And
Exactly, yeah.
That's mainly due to testosterone, I would assume.
But the feminists the more extreme feminists just can't take that at all. They have to always be vocal no matter what the circumstances.
Yeah.
Most of them just want attention, the extremists.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more just to, I don't know, I think...
It's just more to stir controversy.
Yeah, I think everything gets taken too far.
Exactly, yeah.
So...
So, let's talk about something else. So, Joel, what are your thoughts? We were gonna wait until our special guest came on to talk about this, but it appears that I don't think he's coming on today. Unfortunately, I think we're arranging another day because it was a bit hard for him to come on today.
Yeah,
he
he's
just
definitely
record a
come on.
video. And
He'll
everything,
definitely come
but
on, so don't think he's not coming on.
hopefully come on later date at least. But what's your thoughts on the YouTube community turning on the platform?
What are we talking? Rice Gum, Jake Paul, that situation?
Oh no, more like to do with YouTube Rewind and all of that.
I don't know. I don't really. YouTube Rewind was a massive failure. Let's be real. Everyone at this point knows that. I find that YouTube now, after what has it been, 13 days into the year.
Yeah.
On the first day you had, and it's been widely discussed already by a bunch of big YouTubers, that what's his name? My mind's gone blank. Rice Gum and Jake Paul promoting gambling. That's a clear scam if you watch any videos. To kids basically, and they're earning money off it. But a lot of people just assume they do it because they're going to get a fat paycheck, and then...
Well, that was the same thing as Syndicate, wasn't it, a few years back when he was promoting his own business, but trying to make out that he didn't have any shares in it.
That was slightly different though, because T Martin and him own the actual business, so if they wanted to, they could rig the site for themselves. Whereas these YouTubers they're being paid to go on a website where the owners are rigging it for them. Because there's videos, if you go and search, of people opening like £500 worth of these boxes online, and literally getting like, the best thing they get is worth about £30. And you're like, oh, yeah. And then... But
considering the audience of Rice Gum and Jake Paul, and Matt, you don't really watch much YouTube, do you?
Well, not that sort of stuff, no.
Said, I think it was on Ellen, that he said his audience is in the range of around 9 to 14.
9 to 15 it is. So
or 9 to 15.
Yeah.
Majority
just
kids.
Promoting that sort of stuff to potentially vulnerable kids, frankly, is just ridiculous.
What made me laugh the most is Rice Gum's apology. He apologised by doing a video saying he was sorry and all this. Kept the video up still because he's obviously going to make money off it. But he basically apologised, gave out probably, I think someone works out to be about £150 in Amazon gift vouchers, compared to people assuming he got about 100k, which is a fucking lot of money, let's be real. But giving out £150 in Amazon gift vouchers, right? And when someone did some research into it, it turns out all of these gift cards he gave out were used in March of last year. So he just gave out like fake cards almost. So.
Well, I've put a story on my Instagram asking, do YouTubers need to be more aware of their audience? And let's see what everybody else says, because I'm predicting that there's not going to be a single no.
I don't. It all depends on what type of videos you do, really, though. Because if you specifically target an audience, and you know that's your audience, then you know that's what you should expect. Whereas someone who may do content that can be aimed at anyone from the age of, I don't know, 10 to 30, that's when you have to be a bit more aware, I think.
Yeah, but if you look at the main demographics of YouTube and the type of viewers that are on the actual platform as a whole, then it's all people in the US or around that area. Teenagers predominantly.
It's the younger audience, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you don't really see people who are, for instance, middle-aged or in the range of that going onwards. that are watching YouTube videos of, for
No,
instance, Jack Paul
yeah,
or
no,
Rice.
it's not regular watching. It's more just like I can assume that most parents, if need be, or adults who are older in mid age, if they need a tutorial on how to do something because they're uneducated on it, you know, YouTube's a perfect source. Why not use it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it certainly has its advantages. I mean, without it, I think people would be lost. But it's just taken in some situations to a point where it just doesn't need to be there, and it can cause harm to younger, more vulnerable
Yeah.
people.
Well, it's not just the kids that are gonna get harmed from this; it's the parents because they're
Yeah.
the ones who's gonna be paying. There's no way a kid's gonna unload a few £100s on a gambling site. They're gonna have to go with their parents. You know what I mean? So
Wasn't there that like CS:GO like loot box thing as well? I don't know if
yeah,
that's what you want
that
to
was the
play.
T Martin syndicate situation a few years
Oh
ago.
right, yeah, because I saw that and it was just like
Yeah.
500 quid plus on some
I
like.
mean,
That's
yeah,
more understandable though, isn't it?
I,
Because it's their actual like, business that
no,
they're trying to
because
promote.
Yeah, but
they legally had to disclose that they own the website. So
Oh yeah.
that they were still. The thing is, they could have been. There's no proof on it, but they could have been rigging the website to get better stuff. So then when kids see it, they're like, "Oh my god, I can win this!" Then they go and unload all of their virtual skins from CS:GO. Which I'm not gonna lie, I played a lot of CS:GO. I used to, and you can get skins ranging from literally 3p up to like $25,000, and that's no joke.
But we all know as well how Jake Paul and Rice come moving back on a bit to that, are purposely trying to target the younger audience to show that gambling thing. Like that they can come out all they want and say they're not doing it. They did it accidentally and just didn't mean to purposely target them. But we all know that they are as a like promotion
yeah,
method of trying to get more money and stuff from it, which is
well,
just.
the majority of their audience are younger people, and the views are how
Yeah,
they make
they
that
know
money.
full well what their
Yeah.
audience is and what they're gonna be doing. I mean, Jake should know well enough from when he fought Dedge and stuff like that, and all the drama on YouTube, what was gonna happen. But yeah. So, moving on to another subject, and Joel, have you been revising for your mocks
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit?
Just a little bit. I mean, I was reading a book before we went live, to be honest, on glaciology. So, you know, that's fun. I'm at a point. What's this section called? Ice marginal moraines. If anyone's interested, you could go Google them.
That's
alright.
geography, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for geography.
Yeah.
I do have
Rather
my
not.
folders here as well.
Do you think that the UK as a whole, compared to like places like China or stuff like that, is more like laid back with their
I mean-
approach to exams and stuff? Like they rather just think, oh yeah, I'd rather get more sleep rather than just study. While
Yeah,
people from
I
China.
think-
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
definitely compared to Europe and Germany, if you compare the like equivalent GCSE results, they're
I mean-
definitely a lot better than the UK.
Yeah, the UK is honestly, and I mean, there's no offense going out to anyone in the UK here because we're from the UK ourselves, but I find that the UK is genuinely a lot more stupider than your
Yeah.
Asian countries. Like, let's be real. When
Yeah.
when you go over there, like you see kids literally study for a solid 10 hours a day and then they sleep and then they go back to school.
And then
It's-
there's us who think we're just naughty after getting an extra 15 minutes more sleep.
I know. I mean,
Managing to fit it in.
I think it's all to do with culture as well, and
Yeah.
it's down to the parents teaching. And I assume that in the Asian countries, we're mainly talking like China and South Korea and Japan, where it's known to be, then people are known to be smart. I'd assume that their parents are a lot stricter and enforce their
Yeah.
kids more.
Well, what I've noticed over the last years definitely is the parents just don't care about their kids in terms of what they do.
Yeah,
You know,
honestly.
the kids go out, they commit crime. I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, it's the parents' responsibility. These kids are going out stealing cars, mugging people. They honestly don't care, the parents, and that's where the problem is.
I think you can see it throughout the years, especially comparing, like, let's just compare the sixth form and then look at this year 7s and 8s in our school. There's like such a drastic difference. It's like it's pretty ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah, you can definitely see it from year 11.
There's definitely different parenting techniques. Like I find myself personally, like I'm quite disciplined. I mean, if I was to get him on report in lower school, like I never did somehow. I don't know how. I was quite naughty, but somehow I never got a report. But I know like I probably would have been told off at home as well as at school. So
Mind you though, we are more like us Brits as a whole are more inventive with our ideas. You get a lot more entrepreneurs and stuff and stuff like that in Britain than you would in other places like China. You could imagine, couldn't you?
I don't think that's too true, because I find that in China, if you go to the city centres, it's like very busy and stuff. But then like if you were to just watch a documentary, you'd know that if you're not in a city, you're basically rural farming. So
yeah, but it's not all about how smart you are, is it?
No, but it's just to do with the fact if you have a job. Well, not really, isn't it?
True.
If you're making money and if you can live, almost.
If you could sleep extra, get that extra 15 minutes
in the morning.
Every little helps.
That's fun, isn't it?
But everyone does treat like the first hour of like work for some people, education for others as like just extra sleep. Like when you first get into work or school or something like that, you don't actually get there to start learning. You just get there to relax for the first hour and then gradually build into it.
I think personally, I'm not sure if this is just me, but I would find it a lot better if school was to start at 10 and end at 4:20.
Oh yeah.
But I think that extra hour of sleep would help so much. I mean, there's always the argument that you should just go to bed earlier, but I mean, my sleeping pattern's at the point where I don't normally get to sleep until probably somewhere from 11:30 to 12 o'clock. So.
Well, there was a documentary that I was watching quite a while back on YouTube about how there was this school that would start at around 12:30, I think it was, or 1.
What through to the evening?
Yeah, through to the evening, but I think that's too late. Yeah. Like, there has to be like a balance. You can't be too late, but you can't be too early.
Well, I think what they try and do is they teach you at a younger age, because obviously a lot of jobs, office jobs in particular, you have to be up early. You have to be, because my dad, for instance, he gets in like 6 o'clock, even earlier than that sometimes. I think they're just trying to teach you future skills.
It's almost like muscle memory in a way.
Yeah.
So.
Which is beneficial for the future, but for the current state, it's just not very good, is it? It's like exams. Really see like round the corner, can you?
I think exams really piss me off though, because they're not actually a test of skill anymore. I could be the best essay writer in the whole school, but if I can't remember the facts and put them onto paper, I'm basically there's no point in me being in the exam.
I think they're overrated.
I think honestly they should just go, right, here's your notes. Now write me an essay or write me whatever. Answer me.
That's just coursework though, isn't it?
It technically is, yeah. But if you think about it, an exam only tests your memory at the end of the day. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's more about who has the best memory than who's the actual smartest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
you just.
But then that's just the aspect of revising as well, isn't it? Who revises the most compared to who doesn't revise at all.
What they want people to do is put extra work in, extra revision in, just literally repeat until it's literally washed in your brain and you can't remove it. That's the only way you can succeed.
Yeah. Personally, though, I find that for myself, a better technique for me is to cram. Teachers always say don't do it, but I don't, like, people always like, you should start revising 3 months before or whatever. If whatever I revise 3 months before, within the next week, I'd probably be like, what did I do at the start of the week? Like, it just goes out your head, especially with school on top of it. And there's so much stuff in your brain, it kind of just almost shuts you down in a way.
Yeah, true. It's alright, I'm just trying to arrange with Els Marshall whether he wants to come up now and have a quick interview come on Wednesday.
Right.
I don't know about Wednesday, but
But that's my other point as well about how do you think that people when you're older, do you think that people in actual jobs have like a busy schedule, or more famous people or more popular people, let's say, have a busier schedule?
It depends what you.
yeah, it depends what you're doing. I mean, if you're like an actor, then you might be quite busy, especially if you're doing stuff for a film.
Mm.
But
So
it's like musicians, I think, or rappers or artists, whatever. I think there's a difference there because although they'll do their concerts, their tours, they record, but if they're not doing that, what else do they do? I assume they just party and sit around and do
Make money.
make more money off just selling, promoting, you know.
it's not really promoting though, is it? Just sit.
I don't know. Like, I mean, some people go out their way to go and do like meet and greets.
Like Drake can say as much as he wants about how he's trying to promote himself and
I think
build up his street cred.
Yeah, I think Drake's at a
and
point.
stuff.
Drake's at a point where he doesn't need to promote himself anymore, though.
It's like big companies; they just don't need to
Yeah.
bother.
Mm.
It's like why should I don't know, say Samsung bother to promote like an older product when they know it's selling well, and they're already a huge company. There's no need. It's just a waste of budget.
Yeah, true. So I've got an article here about how Apple plans a new iPhone this year, and
End
It's not
of
a
this year.
surprise.
well, yeah, end of this year.
Yeah, well, they release
And-
one every year, don't they?
Yeah, two
Yeah.
normally.
There used to be this joke, didn't there, about how eventually the iPhone would just become like a house or something because it was getting that big.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, things are getting bigger, most definitely. But
Do you think that companies, after some time, just lose interest in like developing on the ideas and everything, start to get into this like motion of where they just stop producing the same thing, like
yeah, well,
only one differentiation or something?
well, that's what the iPhone's already like, to be honest with you.
yeah, they're just trying to make as much money as possible. They don't want to innovate. They just want to release the same thing, just a different color, slightly better camera.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. I think at this point it doesn't matter if you have.
What they actually do.
Yeah, I think
People would buy it anyway.
people see Apple iPhone new, and that's it. It sells.
I think the biggest problem is you see these phones and all the new iPhones are like, I think it's £1,500. Don't quote me, but
Yeah,
like some of the
it's
new ones are ridiculous. But people just buy them on contract anyway, so they don't really bother them. But they can just
Yeah.
the prices just creep up. I mean, a couple of years ago it was like 500, £600. It's like 3 times that now. It's ridiculous.
I think the thing is as well. I mean, I assume wages have slightly risen since then, but I don't think they rise at the same rate as products like that do.
Oh no.
Well, Joel, what wage were you on in your job, or currently on?
$6.50 an hour.
650, and then there's me on 490. Do you think that you value money being in a job at a young age, or value money more?
I mean, I was never really a big spender until I came to sixth form, and then I started spending loads on food and clothes and stuff. But I used to save a lot, and I think I still do value it because I almost budget for myself. I won't just like if I see something, and even if it's like a really good deal, I won't just go, oh fuck it, I'll go buy it straight away. I'll check my bank account, see how much money I got, work out how much I'll have after. You know, I don't just rush into purchases, especially if they're expensive items.
Yeah, because as soon as I got my first paycheck, as soon as that happened, I just started to value thinking that every little helps, and little Tesco reference.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I found that I have spent more though because I know I'm able to. So
Oh yeah.
like because I'm earning, I'm like okay, I'm earning money and I can afford to, so why not do it, kind of thing.
Well, yeah. You get to a point when you're on such a high earning. Not saying that we'll ever be on it, but you never know. Hopefully, you get to a
Yeah.
point when you're on such a high earning that everything just becomes wasteful, and the actual meaning of having money and stuff like that just becomes irrelevant.
It's like, I think as much as people would say you can't have too much money, I think there is a point where you're like, what can I buy with this money? And you just start to waste it, really. It's like, I've already got 3 cars that I only use 2 of. You know what, I'll go buy another one just because I can.
But do you think that money can bring happiness?
I think so,
I
personally.
mean, sex dolls, you know, stuff like that.
Most
I think
definitely.
it's all about that. But I think if you have a hobby or an interest, that money fuels that, really, doesn't it? So.
Money is life now, isn't it? It's just, there's no denying that money brings happiness. I mean, it's not always the case, but in most cases, it's going to give you a better life and make you enjoy life more.
It's an absolutely stupendous statement, that is. Money doesn't bring happiness.
Yeah, you hear
it
that.
100% does.
Yeah.
No matter what your life is or what your lifestyle is, money will bring happiness to some extent.
I don't know. I think there's some people if you are rich, I think money doesn't affect you as much once you do become, like, quote unquote rich. I think once you're at that point, you kind of like.
Oh yeah, but then you've still had money to become rich, haven't you?
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, once you get that and you still earn, I think then, because you've bought all the stuff that makes you happy, you kind of then come back.
Then
down.
it stops.
You come back down on the other side almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But how long have we been going for then, Joel?
It must have been. I don't know how long the stream's been going for.
It's 20 past now.
It's probably
about half an hour.
Yeah, maybe 40 minutes ish.
So we did get a bit of feedback last video about how I've to include Bassett.
Yeah, well, you've got me in it a bit more this time, yeah.
Yeah, and I fixed my mic as well.
Oh yeah, it sounds a lot better.
I can actually hear him now. So.
Next episode, I've just been speaking to Els about stuff, and he said he should be able to come on.
Okay.
Cool. When's he coming on? Wednesday or next Sunday?
Hopefully Wednesday, but you can never completely trust that will happen because something might happen along the way. But yeah, something for the viewers to look forward to.
Yeah.
And but that's it really.
Yeah. So
do you want to wrap it up there then?
Yeah. Well, thanks for turning up. I think we saw.
Thanks for viewing, guys. Oh, actually, last thing before we do finish, something I never did last podcast was actually say the poll results after like it happened. Yeah. So 28 looked the thing. Only 8 voted. 5 voted yes. But guess how many voted no?
Well, 3 obviously.
Yes. That's quite surprising though, isn't it?
What was this question again?
Do YouTubers need to be more aware of their audience?
Yeah.
I think it's all context based.
Yeah, I think most YouTubers know their audience. They respond so well, but then you get the idea that's just gonna take the me.
Yeah. Oh well then. Yeah. So thanks for viewing, everybody.
Thanks for watching the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for
subscribe and like.
Like, subscribe, all that.
Turn notifications on.
All that Jersey stuff, boys.
Yeah. Well, I hope to get Mr. Mitchell potentially in the next one. We'll see on that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for watching.
The actual head of sixth form.
See ya.
Bye.
I'll stop.